Jihoon and Devin are the only happy couple right now, but is it only because Drascilla isn't around? Let's talk about it. Stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey, welcome you guys to The Other Way. I'm your girl, Alex Bowers. To the left of me, I have Linda Antwi.
Hey guys.
She's got all the juicy news and gossip. Then I have Stacey Olive. She's here with our special segment, What Do You Think? And on the chat, we have Ashley Bowden. You guys make sure you're in that live chat.
Yes.
So we have a lot of this gossip, everything we need, the couple's drama. We're going to get right into it. Overall thoughts?
You know what? I am no longer questioning the love that each one of these couples have for their spouse, because there was a lot of nastiness in this episode. It was toenail clipping and dirty showers in the middle of the Amazon River, just nastiness. And I just had to chalk it up to love.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely trust with the toenail clipping. If someone's gonna clip your toenail, you gotta trust them.
Yes.
Yeah.
It'd be painful.
I was like cringing some of the time, like, no.
I felt like this episode I was like, did we fast forward and go past the before the 90 days and now we're just old married couples?
Yeah.
Because what y'all doing is the most.
Yes.
A lot. What about you, Stacey?
I think, going back to that, what Linda just said, I wonder if they're just close because of all they've had to go through together already. So it's kind of like when you go through like craziness together, like this whole moving situation to another country for the person, I feel like you kind of do fast forward your relationship and get, closer.
Yeah. Well, let's hop in then. I think one person that wishes that she could just fast forward and get to the good part is Evelyn. She's sick of Corey not being used to everything and complaining all the time. That's pretty much all that we saw of this couple. But what do you think about that and how he's being? And come on, be honest.
I have a question for all of you. Mm-hmm. She is being portrayed as the bad one in the media and on social media. But from the beginning, he's done nothing but complain. Mm-hmm. Like, complained the whole way. Even before he got there, he complains. I'm just like, oh, you're that guy. You're like the negative guy. And although you're just trying to get it out of your system, that's where your mind goes first. Like, oh, it's this. Oh, the pot. Oh, the toilet. Oh, the running water. Oh, grandma's hut. Oh, I'm like, do you ever stop?
To his credit. Go ahead.
No, I agree with you because I feel like it takes a certain sense of humility to go into that situation.
That's
and
right.
I feel like he doesn't have that. He's been, he has this like... I feel like, especially with the cultural differences and the huge change, he needs to go and humble. And if you're going to complain about like what something looks like, do you know who you're marrying? Like, you're marrying someone that's living in a place that doesn't have that much money. I mean, yeah, she does in her land, wherever she's from, is successful. But I mean, but it's not America. You have to respect it. So you have to have that humility. I feel like he doesn't have it, and I feel like he's been sheltered his whole life. And it's like, oh, I've had this like great home with hot water and stuff. It's like, okay, well, you're not there anymore. So you need to make the best out of the situation. And I feel like maybe too, she takes it as like, I think it could also be like a cultural thing where you kind of get like hurt because it's like, damn, like my grandma doesn't have money like your grandma, but you know what I mean? So I could see where that you go in those situations, you got to be real cautious of how you talk and how you relate to that. I
think the last few episodes I've understood where Corey was coming from. Okay, let's go back to the chicken. It was just too much for him. Okay, and of course the first night, there's no roof, and getting used to it, it's like, hold up, like I really did not realize what I was really getting myself into. But at this point, I agree with you guys. It was just kind of getting annoying and rude, and just stop complaining about everything, dude, and just go with the flow. This is way better than the grandma's house. Why complain?
That's what's messed up, though, the grandma thing. Because I'm like, if someone came to my grandma's house, she doesn't have a lot of money, but it's like, it's going to be, you might be a little culture shock. And it's like, be humble in that situation. Like, don't go in being like, oh my God, this is like a snob. I don't like that. So that's where I get kind of hurt by that. Because I'm like...
So I don't think it was a lack of humility. And I really haven't looked at his responses as complaints. I just think he was in shock. He walked into the grandma's house. There was no roof. It was just like it was a different situation than he's used to. So it's like, oh, I think he was trying to process what he was going through. When they got to the apartment, the toilet or whatever the issue was with the bathroom, that wasn't functioning properly. And mind you, he had been paying money to keep this situation going, the apartment going, and whatever work that they had going on or having done in the apartment. So I think he was walking in with an expectation that things were going to be functioning properly, or at least at a certain level. And so I think it was that too. And then the crusty pots and pans, like it was just a shocker. I was shocked for him.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're complaints. I just think he was shocked. I feel you, Corey. I feel you.
It's just too much at once.
It was
You gotta know what you're getting yourself into, though.
It was shock after shock after shock after shock. Like, hold on. This is too much.
I know, but you guys have to remember, like, this is a third world nation, and if you travel into any third world nation, you can't compare it to America and the luxuries of your Mercedes to a $7,000 car that you think is junk, but that's what they have there, and that's so you have to have realistic expectations on where you are, and it's not going to be a first world nation level. And I think that there has to be not only some humility but some respect where you are. It's not like he's never been there before. He's been there before, so he should know what to expect. The only part that I agree with you 100% Ashley is that if he's put in this $40,000, like, where is the $40,000? Because that's a lot of money for where they're staying.
That's true.
So yeah, what could have gone into? Because the toilet's not. So yeah, I don't know. That it was
hard.
just the roof. The roof did not cost $40,000.
But it is hard going into that and being here. We get warm showers. We get our toilets flushed. Like, we get all that. Those are luxuries. And going over there, you don't have that. I guess it is harder. But then know what you got yourself into. Then
at that point, I'm asking for itemized receipts. I need to know where every single
receipts. Okay, give me the receipts.
Serious.
Absolutely. For anyone watching, you probably fell into a black hole of just AfterBuzz videos back to back to back, and we like it like that. Stacey, tell us about them.
Yeah, guys, you can find us everywhere. You can find us on iTunes now. You can go and give us 5 stars there. Wow.
Nice.
And then you can comment there, leave us comments. Tell us what you think of us. Tell us what you think of the show. Just say it all.
Any fan shout-outs over
yes. I mean, the live chat is
live
lit.
chat, yep.
Kimberly Mayfield, T. Jones, Once Upon a Time, 518, Alex May, and let's see here. I feel like I'm missing somebody. Simone TV, and that's pretty much it. Sorry if I missed
y'all.
you.
Yay.
Hi, guys.
Welcome. We got a lot to talk about.
They were chatting before we even went on air.
Yes.
So.
Okay, Jenny and Sumit. They're basically going to have to face Sumit's family, and Pinocchio, aka Sumit, is going to stand up to the parents. Does anyone on this panel believe that? Anyone?
No, because he said at the end of the episode that he's just gonna have to go back home to keep the lie going. Sumit is more comfortable with the lie at any point. So I think he's gonna try to get around it as much as possible. But I think at some point, it's just gonna hit the fan, and
the dad isn't playing. He wants the live location.
I want the live location.
I think with the culture too, I think there's a lot. The dads are more dominant too, so he's probably terrified.
He was like, "I'm not sending my live location."
Listen. When the truth comes out, Sumit is in so much trouble.
So much.
I'm trying to tell this man lived with his family up until Jenny came. Okay, and he rented this place. Listen. Not only is it going to fly, it's going to fly and land all over him, because this is the situation that he's put himself in is only going to get worse.
Mm-hmm. It would have been a better lie had he moved out, actually got another job or something, and played, for a little bit. But the fact that he left so abruptly was what's making them like, hold on, where
and then
are
he's
you?
just ghosts.
Yeah. Like, we
living
need a
his best life with
transition.
Jenny.
Yeah.
And I think she handles it. I mean, just seeing how she went over there, I feel like she kind of handles it a little bit better. Mm-hmm. Corey can take some tips from her, because I feel like she'll complain, but it's like okay, whatever.
But don't you feel like she has a different issue? Like, her issue is more like insecurity, and I think it's because she's been burned before she was there before and got not kicked out of the country, but his parents were like, no way, like, bye. Right. So now she's picked up and come back. And there's still no security, yes, I'm gonna marry you. So she has that a little bit of insecurity.
Well, she should feel very secure because he was clipping those toenails. That's I don't know how.
I couldn't watch that.
Listen, one thing I do not play about is feet.
I
I'm not
know,
touching
it's
no
so
one's
nasty.
feet. I mean,
so nasty.
it's just like, and he's sitting there and she's just loving it. Like, and don't cut too short. I'm not going to be able to walk.
I know.
What?
She was giving directives.
But even like having someone trim your nails, I freak out at the nail place like that. I'd be like, oh my god, don't.
But at least they're professionals,
right?
And you know what you're getting,
and
they're gonna like polish that up and make it look good.
Right?
Yeah.
This dude who
He's just cut.
click,
Probably not even in a straight line. Just here you go. Here you
that
go.
was hard to watch.
So,
I was like, you're watching her
And she probably hasn't been able to get a pedicure in God knows how long,
Right.
or however long she's probably been there.
So that's true love, right? That's an act of true love.
Is it?
Is it?
That's security,
For me,
right, Linda?
Is it?
It's beyond true love.
I have never asked a man to trim my toenails, and I don't think I ever will. No. But I have asked for foot rubs.
Yeah, that's totally different. I think that I don't know. I don't. For me, I like to have like the sexy still in a relationship, no matter what portion
that's
of your
too
life.
Like you never go too crazy. Like you never fart in front of anyone.
Not even that.
Yeah.
But like
using the restroom.
The toilet, the clipping and the toilet and the
It's too much.
It was all too much.
I think that's where it becomes. Maybe it's at like her older age.
She doesn't
Do you know
care.
when that
Just
might come into part because you kind of just turn back to like take care of me vibe, like I don't know, something like that where it's like, when people get older, they're just like, I just need someone to take care of me at this point where it's like.
So they're going in on the live chat. Once upon a time, 518 Alex said their relationship started with a lie and it's continuing to be a lie. It's not healthy. Kimberly Mayfield said Jenny will be broken down soon.
Yeah.
And what is he getting out of this relationship? And May said that is low key love. LOL, I do my husband's feet because he refuses to get a pedicure, and I refuse to feel nasty feet touch me. Oh my gosh, May. You're a real one, May. You're a real one.
May, do you put the mask on? You have the gloves?
You gotta have some gloves
goggles?
on.
You go in there ready.
Don't go in your eye.
Ready.
And V said, I maintain and keep up manis and petties myself. No excuse, ladies. Okay, V.
Okay. Absolutely.
All right, some work then.
All right, now for Paul and Karimi. Paul is back.
Paul is back.
So my last prediction was wrong. I thought Karimi was gonna go off on Paul when she found out the news. They played like a quick clip of her reaction, and it was just more so she was sad and just upset and thinking, what am I gonna do now? If he leaves, what am I gonna do? So she's making sure that she's secure and she's gonna live with her family so that someone can take care of her child with her. If Paul has to go back. What are your thoughts?
I can't stop laughing about this mosquito net thing, and then she's like, I hate you. I hate you. Like,
that was
talks to him.
funny.
She's like, I hate you. Like, she's straight up says it.
Listen, Paul was not playing about the mosquito protection. He was like, I'm not about to get bit up. I don't blame him.
Oh, but he's been like that since day one.
Right.
And for the simple fact that he was able to whip it out in 5 seconds, he saw one mosquito and it was out, I was dying.
Did y'all see him run?
That's what I wanted to talk
with the
about.
bag?
Yes, I was like,
I was trying to figure out why he was running.
I was like, why? Paul runs to the check-in. I wrote, LOL. Why are you running?
Right.
Like, why?
I was trying to figure that out. Like, were they late?
I don't know. Now, I have a question. What, to you guys, is different between Paul being crazy about everything and Corey complaining about his situation? What makes Paul's situation different?
Okay, so I think Paul is quirky.
Yeah.
I don't think he complains as much as Corey does. Like, Corey just complains. Paul is like the one that has the bulletproof baby bag
He handles
and the bulletproof vest, and then I think he's just so quirky and sheltered that he doesn't know any better. Do you know? And he thinks he's doing the best thing for the best of them. And I also think that he's like a germaphobe type person. I don't know the other word, but like is scared hypochondriac. That's what I'm like. I think he's that.
So he can't help it. It's just
He can't help
is
it.
who
Like
he
everything is like freaking him out.
Yeah.
Everything, and I just think it's so entertaining.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's so
I think Paul is more down to earth. I mean, he's a quirky one.
He is.
But he is more down to earth. Maybe he struggled a little bit more than Corey. I can kind of tell in his personality. I mean, he's just But Corey just seems like he's kind of been pampered a little bit.
Yeah. And you, Ashley?
I don't think Corey's pampered. Like, I didn't see anything glamorous about his lifestyle in the States. Like, I didn't see anything like that. I just think that he was shocked. I'm sticking to
My story.
That man is shocked.
I think the pamperedness is more like the cookie cutter home life. Mom's there, dad's there, everything's great, we love each other, it's just all great and nice.
Now,
so it's like, then you go to Evelyn and it's like, oh no, we got attitudes, we got all the
right.
This
but
is the
my
real
thing
life.
to Evelyn is like, you're talking about Corey complaining. You didn't like being where he lived. You didn't like his house.
He's bored.
In Utah, yeah. You didn't like that at all. So what's the difference?
Yeah.
You felt like you were in a desolate area or whatever?
She's not as vocal about not liking it as he is. She just kind of went with the flow, and she would say, to the camera, yes, I do not like this, and this is just weird, and they're asking me this, that, and the third, or whatever. But, he's just more outward.
But let's not forget, she went into an upgraded situation. So what are you really going to complain about?
True. I'm with you. I see you.
I think she's bored. I think she's maybe struggled. I don't know. I just think it's different.
Listen, she didn't have anything
background.
to do.
I feel like you kind of have to go through similar stuff to become the you know what I mean? I think how you're raised is completely opposite. Like there's gonna be craziness.
Can I just say that back to Paul and Karimi.
Yes.
When Paul acted like he splurged for the private room instead of the hammocks, I was like,
and he's like, there's poop water everywhere. And I felt bad. I'm like, okay, for someone like Paul, this is like a complete nightmare. Like, even for me, but just imagine, you know how Paul is. He does not play about this stuff. I felt bad. I'm like, why y'all have to do my dog like that? Why y'all have to do my dog like that?
That water was nasty. It looked like
absolutely.
I do like how she responds to them. Like, she knows who he is, with all the quirks and stuff, and she calls him strange, and she says, I hate you, all this stuff, but she really loves him and doesn't want to be away from him. And I just think that little relationship is really, really
we're not really seeing the kind of craziness we heard about, maybe that's behind closed doors, but we're not really seeing the craziness that we thought Paul was like. You know how they said he'd get pissed or mad at her, the stuff that they said on social media and all the violent stuff.
Yeah, but I also think too, having a baby changes things, right? And I think that it changes your perspective.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Maybe calms you down a little bit.
Yeah. I agree. Okay, so someone else who needs to be calmed down is Aladdin. We'll talk about that in the predictions because we don't see Laura and Aladdin this episode. But in predictions, you'll see why we have some stuff to talk about because, we saw the preview of how he's going to be acting when she tells him a little something. All right, let's move on to Devin and Jihoon. I absolutely loved the way this whole thing played out.
Okay.
It was so them.
Yep.
The knocking over the glasses, the acting confused and put it in the water and then put it in the champagne or whatever
Ginger
ale. Drinking it and scooping it out with your finger. It was so them that it just made me happy for them. I'm smiling the whole time okay. They're just that's just how they are.
They're just not very emotional. You can't see him getting all emotionally oh, I just love, you know what I mean?
And
you
the
don't
moment
see that from him.
It didn't have to be a picture perfect moment. Devin isn't one of those people that you have to nothing can go wrong. She just, it is what it is. Get it out. I want to see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just like that about her.
It wasn't a fairy tale type proposal.
Yeah.
It was more real.
It was real.
It was very real.
At the stratosphere.
Yeah. I think so, yeah.
Spinning.
He said, I'm
what do you have to say, Linda?
I loved it. I think that Jihoon was really, really nervous, and also you could tell he's obviously never done this before, so he's step by step, I take it out of the box, I give it to the waitress, bring it back,
don't lose it.
All of that. And so I agree with you, Alex. I think that it was perfectly them. It was the perfectly them proposal, because on the flip side, I think that Devin is really emotional, and I think this was the perfect proposal for her.
Now,
when the glass broke, I was like, okay,
oh,
see?
It's too much.
They
it was funny.
2 or 3
They're like the Greeks, just
Yeah.
Drop the plate, drop the glass, and keep it pushing.
Yeah. Now, we didn't see Drascilla, but I do want to talk on this again.
Stratosphere, thank God.
Because I kind of said some
Scary.
things. I really want to know, do you think they're only happy because Drascilla isn't around? I feel like when Drascilla is around...
Shade.
Love Drascilla. She is who she is. She's bad. And she loves it. She is a kid. She's living her best life because no one's telling her not to. But I would like to know if they would be as happy, or if Jihoon is going to act as happy when Drascilla is around. Because sometimes I think because she's just a wild child, it's just a lot for him, and he wants to like discipline her or even give her tips on how to discipline her. Like, she shouldn't be doing this. So what are your thoughts on that when we actually, like, the day we actually see them all three together, just the three of them?
I think Jihoon, which is really cool about him, I think he has a different level of maturity than the other men in the couples, because I feel like he doesn't put like Devin down like, oh, she's he like is trying to like construct. He thinks about what he's gonna say, and if it's like really important, he's the type of person that's like, he doesn't say anything unless it's like really meaningful. Like, it's not gonna, you know what I mean? He thinks about what he's gonna say. He's not gonna just start complaining like Corey or doing, things kind of crazy. He actually like thinks about it. So I feel like he is pretty mature and he understands like Devin and the whole situation. And I don't know, I just think intelligence wise, I feel like he's pretty smart about how he handles it. So I don't think it I think he knows how to handle that situation, and he will handle it well.
I think it's going to be interesting to see when they actually make the move to South Korea.
Yeah,
and Drascilla being as wild as she is, how she's going to adjust to that. And also, like, just even living spaces in South Korea are much smaller, and I know she lives at home right now with her mom and her dad, but you guys saw the apartment that he lives with his parents. It's not going to be much bigger than that, even if he moves out and they get their own place. So, like, having that whole thing and her running around,
it's a lot.
They need to put her in school over there.
Yeah, and quick. She will get disciplined on the quickness.
They'll discipline them? Like,
well,
crazy?
Not like
more strict,
but more like rule.
Okay,
These are the rules.
Oh, she'll get
don't talk
right
out of
in line. Right in line. Okay, now to Ronald and Tiffany. They made me nervous. I'm like locking the doors and hold on, is everything okay?
Is everything
because the way they make South Africa seem is just like, you can't even have your phone in the car. Like, it was just a bit much. I don't get that vibe from South Africa.
I thought
I've never been there.
Not the touristy part,
I'm
sure.
No, I
was just saying, probably not the touristy area that we're exposed to. Okay. Like, they're living the real life.
Yeah, but did you think it was appropriate for him to ask a child, do you know about human trafficking?
Nope.
I don't think it was inappropriate. I think he just wanted him to know the reality.
True. Now, had he like said like what goes into it and like went into like sex trafficking and so on, it would have been a bit too much. I still didn't think that he should be talking to Danielle about that anyway. Let Tiffany do it. Let Tiffany do it when she's ready. She's been parenting him this whole time. And you're just on a trial run right now.
You gotta figure your stuff out before you start trying to figure his stuff out.
Speaking of his stuff, when he broke it down like that, I was like, what? Wait, what are you bringing to the table right now then? Yeah. You stole from your mom, armed business robbery, drugs, stole money from your employer, and then stole more money from your employer. Yes. Then you had to go back and confess, so you got convicted. And
Did you believe his stories?
As soon as he got convicted, he's like, yeah, and then I went to the wellness center.
Yeah.
Right. Guys, that kind of...
Did you believe the story, though, of the putting on the Friends jacket, or do you think that was really his stuff?
Well, yeah, I think it was probably his stuff.
Yeah.
Or the people he surrounds himself with. Maybe it is their stuff.
But he said he passed the drug test.
I mean, you can still have the drugs and pass the drug. It doesn't mean you're using them.
Maybe he was selling them. He was a pusher.
But my point is, the drug one was only one of the busts. That was one of many.
Guys, maybe why was he bringing up, which would kind of scare me if I was Tiffany, because he brought up the human trafficking stuff, the stuff about like the burglaries and all this stuff, and then you're bringing your kid in the situation. You don't know him that well. Right. You don't know the old people that he used to surround himself with. You don't know his backstory. You know what he tells you, but his backstory. Like, where are all these people? Like, they don't just disappear.
Right.
So, and you're bringing a child in there. That's what made me kind of like, oh.
And then Daniel's there saying that he doesn't feel comfortable there yet. So you throw that into the mix and be like, oh, by the way, we're getting married in 2 days and we're probably going to move here.
Listen to the kid.
It's a lot. It is. Now, before we move on, I do want to know, do you guys think it's, do you guys think they should have explained to him the visa situation, or he's just way too young?
No.
Way too young.
He doesn't need to. That's grown folk business for sure.
They talked to him a lot about, like, adult stuff.
I'm asking because obviously in the car, right before that, he was willing to talk about, the human trafficking, so
I think that was in more of a sense of be careful.
Be aware.
Like, be aware, because I've done that to my nieces and nephews. Like, hey, people do get kidnapped. This is real. This isn't, don't run off. But I mean,
lock the door.
Like in that, I think he's too little to talk about that.
Yeah. Once upon a time, 518 Alex said the relationship is a hot mess, and he was telling the son, and when he was telling the son about human trafficking was super inappropriate. And once upon a time, 518 Alex also said the son is way smarter than his mom. I feel bad for him.
Damn. See, these kids are smarter than their parents.
He's like, well, can't Daniel come, can't Ronald come to America?
Yeah.
Asking the questions.
He was asking the right questions.
Yeah.
He said, don't you have a passport?
Yeah. He's the cutest, honestly.
Can I adopt him?
Seriously. Okay, special segment time. What do you think?
But that's none of my business.
Oh.
What you got for us, girl?
What do we think today? Damn. Save the kids. That's what I think.
You said that last week, too.
Save these children. Let's go into that question. I'm just going to create a question right now. Do you think someone can change in a matter of months from burglarizing houses or wherever to having addictions to, I don't know, any type of criminal activity? Do you think someone can change in a matter of months?
It takes a while.
It takes a while.
Well, because you have to relearn, first of all, you got to figure out what your triggers are. Like, why are you doing that? Yeah. And then you got to learn new habits, right? So it's just a process. You can make the decision in a matter of a day or two to start on that journey, but...
And not only that, new processes, and you have to surround yourself with different people. And you have to make different choices. So all of those things.
Yeah.
I agree.
100%. We're all on the same page, nose across the board.
That takes years.
It does.
Yes.
Okay, next question, on a lighter note. Should your future spouse get down on one knee to propose? Do you guys want that?
I would love for you to.
I would love you don't have to, but I would love to.
If you can get super creative with it and make something like... But I would love for you to, at the end, now would you?
Yeah.
I need one, even if it's just a quick, will you marry me? Just a kneel at the end of whatever presentation you have going on.
And I like that you call it a presentation.
Let the knee hit the ground for a couple seconds, please.
Yep.
Thank you.
I like the grand gesture.
I love grand gestures.
It says that you put a lot of thought into it, especially, if you know your future fiance and what they love, then
And you're, looking up to her.
Yeah.
And just
love it.
Absolutely.
I definitely need the knee on the ground.
Yeah. Is it just an American thing? I don't know.
We have to Google that. We got to Google that.
Well, I know that Canadians do it too, but I don't know if it's an international thing for sure. We should look it up for sure.
We need to look it up.
Otherwise, it's just, hey, will you marry me? Yeah. How do you?
Yeah.
I wonder how. No, I'm not asking you.
I can actually step in real quick. This is Josh in the booth right here. Actually, the way my parents actually they got proposed was my dad actually went to my grandfather's house. They're from Guatemala. So my dad went to my grandfather's house, pretty much asked my grandfather for my mom's hand in marriage. They agreed, and so that's pretty much how it went about. So I don't think there was any kneeling. I think that might be more of an American thing, but that's just from my perspective, from a Central American perspective, so I don't know how it could differ from anywhere else.
So he went straight to the source.
Right.
To the dad. He went above her. Let me go to the dad. And,
that's respectful.
That's how you should do it. Honestly, if you don't ask my dad, then don't ask me.
Don't ask me.
Okay, let's go into the next question then. Do your parents have to approve of the person you're marrying?
Absolutely. No?
No.
Ashley, tell us why.
Yes, it's for me, yes.
Why?
Because I'm an adult, I can make my own decisions.
Ashley, I'm shook at you.
Why are you shook?
I'm usually on the same wavelength as you. I'm like,
no.
Where's my girl?
No.
Where's my bun twin? What is she doing?
I know. No.
Wow.
No.
My life?
Wow, and you mean it too.
No.
Okay.
No.
Oh, okay. And
In
you?
my personal
Yes,
situation, I just trust my judgment a little bit more than.
Oh, okay.
understandable.
Yeah, sometimes we make better choices.
Yeah. And then sometimes you know someone better than, your parents. I get that.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
For me, it's a capital YES.
Yeah.
All right. That's funny.
I feel like, yeah. Well, it's interesting. No, I don't know.
Is it
Now
yes
I'm
for
thinking
you?
about it. I'm like, wait, would I? Like, should I do my mom?
That's very because that determines your happiness
Yeah,
in
it's
life,
true.
like who you marry and what you do for a living. Those are like two major things in life that determine your happiness. So I'm not going to put my destiny in the hands of somebody else. I need to make that. It needs to be a decision between me and my higher source.
You know what's best for you, too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. I respect it.
Yeah.
Now time for news and gossip.
Guys, news and gossip. All right, guys, if you don't know, now you know. We have
I like that.
90-Day Fiancé Instagram page that is run by Stacy here. Make sure you check it out, 90 Day Fiancé now. She reposted a Q&A that Corey did, and the question was, you do want kids, and does she? ? And he responds, one day I do. She doesn't want any of her own. She always wanted to adopt. Now, you guys, he's from a Mormon family, and Mormon families tend to be big and believe in having a bunch of babies.
Yep.
What do you think of this, and what do you think of this answer? And
I think he wishes he could change that about her. I feel like if there's one thing, okay, she's stubborn, whatever, he'll get over it, he'll get through it, he loves her, whatever. But as far as kids, like, that's huge. Some people won't even, date if you ask ahead of time and they say no kids. It's like, what's the point?
kids have to be talked about, in my opinion. Religion has to be talked about, in my opinion. Money has to be talked about, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And, your sexual preferences, in my opinion. If all those things...
I need details on a few of these topics.
I'm just saying, you all have to be on the same page.
What's the money
Absolutely.
conversation and what's the sexual preferences conversation?
Okay, so the money conversation is, how do you save money?
Oh, okay.
How is money
breaks
important to you?
Okay.
How do you spend money?
Okay.
And, do you have a 5-year, 10-year plan? That type of thing. The sexual preferences, and I'm just going to be real, sex is important in a relationship, especially if you're trying to go the distance. You guys have to be on the same page with sexually. So,
Period.
is sex important to you in a relationship? Yes or no? Some people are going to say yes, but it's really not. Some people are going to say no, but it really is. So you have to have the real talk.
Like what kind of stuff you want?
Even if you want to go that far,
Wherever
not
you
even
wanna go.
just be real with it.
Okay.
Because this
Okay.
is the person you're saying you're spending the rest of your life with.
We need to
right?
start coming to you for these
I
topics.
know,
Like,
Linda, can
Linda,
you,
what do I need to say?
Like a vlog now?
One thing I would add to that, though, nowadays you have to ask right off the bat, do you have any kids?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right away.
Yeah.
People will have 5 kids deep, and will not let you know
That's
until
shady.
you're about to walk down the altar.
You just gotta go with all your baggage
have
on the
to-
first date and
You
be
just
like,
gotta
look.
have an earpiece and have Linda in the
And
earpiece on
yes,
one day.
here's a question that I learned very recently. I think that is very important, especially if you're in the dating community. You can say, hey, are you in a relationship? And the person says, no, I'm not. Then you have to ask them, is anyone in a relationship with you? Yeah.
That's deep. Like, you can think you're not in a relationship, but
Preach.
does she think that
That's
she's
it.
in a relationship
That's it.
with you?
That is
That's
deep.
it.
I'm gonna take notes.
So while we're on this topic, question is, and then I'm sorry, but the lying spelt this way just drives me crazy. So why are you lying about getting married to her when we all know you're married to her and have been for 8 years? Why lie?
Been
Yeah, all of it. We met in 2014. It was
a late
stated
night.
on the show. Been on and off dating since then. Not sure where these rumors come from. Now, okay, so you guys, I know that we talked about this, and I said that they're married, and I know they're married, and they've been married, and I always think it's interesting when you ask a question and then you don't really answer it.
They do that a lot on 90 Day.
Answering, not answering is pretty much answering.
Basically.
Right.
Okay, because you have that plausible deniability where you can say, well, I never said I was, I never said I wasn't.
Yep.
Jihoon posted this really, really cute photo.
So cute.
Yes, of his father, and it says, "Father Jihoon has literally not aged a single freaking day."
I love them.
And it says mom and dad on their wedding day. How adorable is that?
They're so cute.
They're like, yep, we made a serious commitment. Look at it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then next, he's filming the love thing because, they're happily, newly engaged.
Yep.
So Devin hearts Jihoon in the sand with a little heart in the middle,
Yeah.
which I thought was super cute. And then, still on the wedding bliss, we have Devin posting, and I was glad she posted it because, we didn't really see the ring up close in this episode, so she did say that he did a good job. So she wrote, "Happy engagement day at Jihoon 90 DV," and she shows the beautiful solitaire ring.
Go Devin.
Cute.
And then, again, with them, because they're in the bliss, I thought this was a great photo. I think it's very artistic. Junie and Vanny, it says, and with hearts and flowers. And it's a Polaroid of them just, being artsy.
They're both, you can tell, creative.
Types, yeah.
They'll go out with their cameras together and take pictures for the day.
Love that.
And then Devin, one last one, she reposted a photo that people wanted to see her in a full hanbok, and I think she looks gorgeous. And if we can blow that up a little bit, because it's really worth seeing. So she's in traditional Korean gear, and she looks fantastic.
She does.
Wow.
She can fit in.
She does.
Yes.
Go girl.
Yeah. That is the news and gossip.
All right, now for our predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV
Prediction.
I'm gonna go ahead and start with my little one prediction.
Okay.
We saw in the preview that Laura she shows him some of the toys. She shows Aladdin some of the toys. And I feel like, okay, he's gonna be mad at first, we see him F you or whatever. But in the end, if you want to be with her, you're going to have to satisfy her. So I feel like it's going to be a quick turnaround. This isn't going to last for episodes to come. You're going to realize that you're not as good as you think you are, and you're going to have to change it, or she's going to be up out of there, because she's at the age where all she wants to do is be satisfied, be happy, and feel loved. And without that, she's up out of there. So...
Okay. I agree with that too.
I'm just taking it in.
Just taking it all in. Any more predictions?
I think Tiffany and Ronald are just not gonna last. I think that there's going to be some issues there. The fact that Daniel is not comfortable in South Africa, and there's some safety concerns, and then Tiffany's already talking about she does not want him to play outside and things like that. I just think overall that's going to be a big issue.
Yeah, I think they might.
Seems unrealistic. But
No, sorry.
No,
I think they might come back for a period of time. I don't know. I don't think she feels comfortable up there. And I think Daniel's going to get, really sad. I feel like he's going to have a little breakdown. Because this is hard for him. And he's like, where am I? And I think we're going to find more out about Ronald and his past.
Because
people
Daniel's
he surrounds himself with.
Pushed away. He's just on a phone, or he's just not, you know what I mean?
And I felt like they were trying to kind of manipulate him and convince him to stay.
Right? After the end of every sentence, they were like, right?
Yeah,
You're going to be with us, right?
Yeah.
That means just agree with me.
Yeah.
It's then
And he's
don't even
so
ask
sweet.
me.
He's such a sweet-spirited child. He just was like, okay.
Linda, what you got, girl?
So I think that Sumit... Okay, so this is what I think. I think Sumit hinted that he hadn't decided in the very beginning, when we very first started this, if he had chosen Jenny 100%. Mm-hmm. And I think that he's going to go home, and his parents... He's not going to have the spine to stand up to his parents. I think that when we talked about how having children is very important, having children in Indian family is very, very important. She's not going to be able to have kids with them, and I think he's going to stay with his parents and choose his parents over Jenny. I think that's what's going to happen.
Dang.
And yeah, it's not going to be good. I'm going to leave it at that. We also do have a new 90 days coming up, August 4th, you guys. So
Before the 90 days
is going to be a thing again.
Yep, and even a show after this, The Family Chantel, we're going to start tonight as well.
Bunch of new shows, but what I thought was interesting from seeing a little bit of the preview of Before the 90 Days, is our favorite couple, Angela,
And Michael.
are back.
What?
And Angela, did you guys see the preview?
I haven't seen it.
Guys,
No.
the preview, Angela is having an ultrasound.
Oh.
and
You're kidding.
He wants her to have a baby.
Wait, didn't we talk about this? I feel like back when.
Was she already pregnant?
Something about
during the
pregnancy. I don't know why I
This
felt
is my
like
first. This is news to me.
Michael wants her to have a baby.
Michael.
Michael.
So yeah,
That's shocking.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I don't see her wanting. If you think about her, she's the type to say, "Hell no!" Like she's just so against most things. I would never expect her to be down with that.
I just see her on the Jerry Springer show and be like, oh,
Yeah.
see.
I'm ready for it. I am
That happened.
ready.
She was on the show.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's on the show. She's a good one. But you guys, thanks so much for watching. My 90 Day family is so strong. I'm your girl, Alex Bowers. You can follow me all over social media at Hey Alex Bowers.
Guys, thank you so much. All across social media, Linda is so girly. I was going to say Linda Antwi at Linda is so girly. Either way.
Hey guys, I'm Stacey Olivas. You can find me all over social media at Stacey_Olivas and at 90 Day Fiance now.
And you guys can find me on Instagram at Miss Ashley Marie.
We'll see you next episode, Family Chantel. Bye.
Bye.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.